Hello everyone, and welcome to First Place Perspectives, where I show you how to get through some of the toughest minigames with the highest win rates possible. All of these videos are supported by my own data collection efforts. The spreadsheet that I use to track all of my games is free to download in the description of this video, along with a link to the Season 1 statistics video that I made. With that out of the way, let's get into this. Wall Guys has an average qualifying rate of approximately 58%, based on 26 games of data. For the most part, this means a little less than half of the people that enter this round will survive until the end. What makes this game even more interesting is that some games can last nearly 3 minutes. Compared to my personal fastest of just over a minute, there's a large gap between first and last place players that you can use to get yourself through to the next round. What's also interesting about this game is that it's one of the few games in Fall Guys that features the same puzzle in varying degrees of difficulty. That is, each segment of this course is the same as the last, just harder. Thus, we'll focus on building a step-by-step plan to clear each section, and that can be mapped onto each of the sections, one after the other. We'll split each section of this course into 2 strategic moments, the first being planning, and the second being execution. Let's start with our first clip here. Right out of the gate, you should start planning your path out of the first area. All of the blocks are short enough to either jump or climb onto, so you don't have to worry about lining up any blocks. Therefore, the block you should be running towards is the closest tall block, preferably one against the wall. The other option is a close, short block that you can use to jump onto the tall block, which will save you time over climbing, but is a little more tricky. Once you get to the top of the wall, scan the next section, keeping an eye out for tall blocks near the far wall. Again with this one, you can get over the wall with a climb, so if you don't get a clear path to a tall one, then just push a medium-sized block to the wall and then jump onto a tall one. Remember that only 2 beans can hold onto one side of a block at once, so don't throw yourself at an occupied side. It's better just to wait or walk around. Playing this section out, you can see I take the medium block approach and shove the closest one to the far wall, keeping in mind that I need to be patient and aim my jump to the left of the jump spot. After that, on top of the wall, just repeat the same search pattern as before. The main difference with the third section over the previous 2 is that you will need at least 1 transition block to get to a block high enough to climb over the wall. You'll see in this section that I go for a shorter block to climb onto, but after a series of pretty underwhelming attempts, I transitioned to another block because the other one was getting a little too crowded. Transitioning here gives me an easier second jump onto the tall platform, and then it's just a well-timed dive to catch the wall's edge. These wall dives are risky, because if you slam into the wall too low, you'll fall, and diving too early will make you hit the top of your head, and you will stagger. You want to try and get the angle right and aim for your hands or chin to hit the edge. Now let's pause it here. Using what we know already, do you see which path I'm going to take for this final section? Pause the video and work it out in your head. Which path do you think I'll be taking? And then you can see if you're right. From this position, I see that both tall exit platforms are to the left, with one being far in the corner and mostly unusable. The gap between the tall platform and the final wall is pretty far, but still in that pink box, so I feel confident that I can make it with some well-executed jumps. To get to that platform though, I need a platform of medium height to jump from, which seems to be one of these 2 in the middle. From what I remember from this game, the angle was messing up my sense of depth, but I knew for certain that one of them would get me within range of the tall platform's ledge. The final question is how to get onto those medium height platforms. Well, as you'll quickly see as we start this clip, you can clear a solid amount of distance from the wall and can jump straight onto that medium platform without issue. Next up is 2 consecutive ledge grabs, which is a bit risky, but given that you're this far ahead of the rest of the players, you can take a couple of risks, and you can use your buffer time to practice your dive grabs. After that, just run across the finish line and you've made it. To follow this up, let's go through one more run, just like this one, from start to finish. Pause the video at the start of each section and see if you can predict which path I'll try to take. It's all about practice at this point, so use this second match as a test to see if you understand how to apply the techniques I've covered. Curious about how you can improve your chances of winning other games? Check out the other videos in this playlist for more tips, tricks, and strategies to get you to that crown round. New videos are being posted weekly, so consider subscribing, and post what minigame you want to see done next in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.